What's up guys, Josiah LaRue here. Today we're going to be talking about some of the latest news in technology. So yeah guys, today we're going to be talking about unlocking your cell phone, the Nvidia Shield tablet, and new MacBook Pro Retinas. So to start off, let's talk about unlocking your cell phone. So I live in the US, and a couple years ago the United States Congress and Senate passed a law that made unlocking your cell phone illegal. Now, I'm not exactly sure of what the reasoning behind it was, but I'm sure a lot of the cell phone carriers and other people who made money off people not unlocking their cell phone and moving into other plans were the ones behind lobbying for this bill to be passed. However, now about 2 years later, because of lobbying of us, the people who want to be able to unlock our cell phones legally, the House and the Senate have come back and passed a new bill called the Unlocking Consumer Choice and Wireless Competition Act, which the President then signed into law a couple days later. So what does this law do? Well, really it just overturns the last law and says that you can now legally unlock your iPhone. Now, still most of that does have to come through your carrier because they have the codes which allow the phone to be unlocked, but it's now legal to do that instead of being technically illegal. The problem with the old law was that it was really hard to enforce because the people who were doing the unlocking were typically the hackers or more advanced level people who knew how to unlock a phone and then lock it again or unlock it if necessary when someone who might know would have to take a look at the phone. So it was really just a way of saying, oh yeah, we're cracking down on these unlocked phones, but it really didn't do anything and just hurt the customer and the consumer in the long run. So I'm thankful that this is finally turned over, and now especially for reviewers who are not in the US trying out US-based phones, they can now have them unlocked to use on their native carriers, and this just helps everybody. So good job that we're going back to the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. In our next bit of news, we're going to be talking about Nvidia Shield. So about a year to a year and a half ago, Nvidia came out with what they called the Nvidia Shield, which is pretty much a controller, very similar to an Xbox controller, with a flip-up 5-inch touchscreen display on it. And so you could play your games. It ran Android, but so you could play any native Android game, or if you had a GTX 600 series and above, you could natively stream live gameplay of full desktop PC version games from your computer to your Shield and play them in real time on your device. So it allowed you freedom as long as you were within the same wireless or wired network of the computer that was hosting the game. So that was pretty cool. Now 1 year later, Nvidia is coming out with a new version of the Shield, but they took a little bit different way of approaching this. Instead of producing just a newer version of their same controller-based device, they decided to ditch that format and come out with a tablet. Yes, it's a full 8-inch tablet with a 1920 by 1080 display, so it's full HD, but it's a tablet. But it's not a tablet you've probably ever experienced before. It's running an Nvidia K1 Tegra system on a chip, which is the equivalent of like a 600 series mobile graphics card. It is insanely powerful, yet works well on mobile platforms in not sipping that much battery when not under use. So it's great for mobile, but it's also great for gaming because it cranks out so much power. So yes, this tablet is pretty much just like the old Shield, except that you do pretty much everything in touch. So it's a tablet, it runs on Android, so you can do everything that an Android tablet can do, but it's also designed for gaming. So again, you can stream that game from your PC to your Shield tablet and play it anywhere on the same network, and just have an overall lighter experience, plus a tablet that you can then use to surf the web or watch movies or whatever. Just a little bit better experience than the original Nvidia Shield, because that only had a 5-inch screen, and doing anything other than really gaming was a little bit cumbersome because the screen was kind of hard to touch, or using the toggle sticks weren't really that intuitive. So Nvidia is actually still selling the original Shield as the original Shield Portable Edition. So they're going to have two lineups: the new tablet with the newer Tegra chip, and the older original Nvidia Shield Portable as well. So you have two options, whether you want the built-in controller and smaller screen or the bigger display. But for those who want a controller, you're not left out. They are selling a separate controller. Pretty much identical to the one included on their Nvidia Shield Portable, and it is a little bit slimmer because it doesn't have to pack all those internals in it, just the battery. So it connects by Wi-Fi network, so it lives on the same network as the tablet is, and so that way you don't have to work with Bluetooth and use battery up that way or have low latency issues or whatever, because Wi-Fi can communicate a lot faster. So you can use the tablet for gaming and use the controller for better controls that way, or just use the tablet as normal and use your finger. So it gives you options, and it also allows you to do more stuff on it than the original Shield does. But there are certainly some drawbacks. It's a little bit cumbersome because you have to find a place where to put this tablet, this larger 8-inch screen, and then still play with your controller. So it makes it a little bit more cumbersome, and it's a little bit different, but it's gaming on a tablet instead of gaming on a small handheld device. If you want a more in-depth and full review, check out my buddy Linus from Linus Tech Tips over here. He did a full rundown and showed you some examples of how he used the Shield and how you might use the Shield and what were his thoughts about it. I thought he did a really great review, so go check him out. Other specs on the tablet included has a 5 megapixel front and rear facing camera. It has 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage. The 16 gig is Wi-Fi only. The 32 gig is Wi-Fi and LTE. That edition is coming soon, but so far just the Wi-Fi is going to be coming first. And it has 802.11 wireless A, B, G, and N. And it has a 19.75 watt-hour battery for some pretty long battery life unless you're heavily gaming. It also has a stylus and a mini HDMI port out so that you can connect your Shield tablet to your TV and then play your games on your TV. So yeah, overall I think it's a great new device. It's different than their original product, and it really creates, it's for a different area of the market. It's for those who want to game and have a tablet to do tablet type stuff, versus the original Shield Portable was pretty much just for gaming. So it allows you more flexibility in what you can do. And finally, we're going to be talking about MacBook Pro, specifically MacBook Pro Retina. So last week, Apple released new upgrades to their MacBook Pro Retina line, kind of unannounced. There wasn't really much fanfare. The tech blogs kind of caught it and talked about it, and it shows up on Apple's website, but they didn't come out and say, oh, hey, look, we have new hardware. So, because it really wasn't that much new hardware, just spec bumps that increase performance and overall offer a better device. So, what did they change? Well, for the 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina, they increased the RAM. Originally, it was just 4 gigs. Now the base is 8 gigs, so it gives you extra performance. And this is good because of the upcoming Yosemite, which is going to require a little bit more RAM to run all the new things that they want it to do. So this is good for people who want that same buttery smooth experience that they had on previous versions on their hardware. RAM is key, particularly for when you're doing content editing or other things, which is really what the MacBook Pro Retinas are for, is doing a lot of content stuff because of that really high-res display. All their CPUs got a 200 megahertz boost as they upped them to Haswell-based processors, so you have a little bit better CPU performance as well. The price did not change on any of the 13-inch models, but you're getting better hardware for the same price, so that's pretty good. The 15-inch also got a big boost in that it doubled their RAM capacity from the previous 8 gig as standard to now 16 gig. So now, again, you're getting even better performance. Also, again, their CPUs got about 200 megahertz boosts on each one, going all the way up on their top end for a Core i7 4970K, which actually goes up to 4 gigahertz. So for that CPU on a mobile edition, that is a pretty banging CPU. Combine it with 16 gigs of RAM, you got a pretty fast machine. Also, they upgraded their storage amount in that you can even get a 1 terabyte SSD. Of course, you're going to be paying through the nose for it because it's Apple and it's PCIe SSDs, so it's going to be super fast. So if you need that much storage in the computer, you can certainly now get it, which is awesome. The fact that we even have terabyte SSDs now is quite amazing in that you can get that much storage in a flash chip, so it's super fast and it has a lot of storage. Pretty dang cool. Apple stuck with the Nvidia GeForce 700 series for their discrete graphics cards, so they didn't get the boost to the 800 series. That'll probably come in next year's version, but they did drop the price on the 15 inches by $100 for each model, so you get, again, better hardware for a little bit less price, so that's great. And again, as I said, all these hardware boosts is just going to increase your performance when the new OS X 270 comes out this fall. So yeah guys, that's some of the latest news and technology today. Hope you enjoyed the show. let me know in the comment box down below. What do you think about the Nvidia Shield tablet? Would you buy it? What do you think of a separate tablet and controller versus the original controller with the flip-up screen? Also, what do you think about the new MacBook Retinas? Is the performance boost that they included in these new models worth you upgrading, or are you just going to stick with your existing Mac? Let me know in the comment box down below. As always, guys, you can check out last week's video here and the stuff that I talked about over here. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!